Fire authorities say conditions in Victoria have eased slightly, but warn the bushfire threat is far from over. At least one person has died, with the body of a man in his 60s found near the Longwood blaze. Hundreds of structures have been destroyed and more than 390,000 hectares of land has been burnt since the middle of last week. Well, a total fire ban has been declared in the North Central and North East districts, with thousands of firefighters working to strengthen containment lines. 300 structures have been destroyed, but that number is expected to rise as crews gain greater access to the fire grounds. The federal government has offered nearly $20 million in emergency funding for affected residents and farmers.
My message to Victorians is pretty simple. We've got your back, not just during this crisis, but through the recovery as well. And we'll work cooperatively with the Allan government to make sure we deliver what is necessary so that people and communities can get back on their feet after what has been a very difficult period.
Our reporter Stephanie Ferrier is in Longwood in central Victoria.
This is the most tragic of news and something that fire authorities say has really just taken the wind out of their sails here, because after all, their primary purpose is to protect life before properties. And so hearing this after seemingly escaping these disastrous fires without a loss of life is very hard news indeed. We have heard from police that they are yet to formally identify the person who was killed. It's only about 20 or so kilometres away from here, just to the southeast of where I am, in Longwood East, which is about 150 kilometres north of Melbourne CBD. And police say that this body of a person was found about 100 metres from a car in a fire-ravaged area in the Yark Road of Goba. So we do know that this is really horrific news, and we heard from the Premier, Jacinta, Allan, earlier on News Breakfast. This is what she had to say.
Look, it's such a tragic loss, such a tragic loss, and my thoughts are with the person's family, their community, and also everyone. This loss reverberates across all the fire grounds across Victoria, and it is such a tragedy.
That's the Premier, Jacinta Allan, speaking there earlier, and she says that it is particularly difficult for the fire crews and authorities who are already dealing with really challenging work, who made this grim discovery, and she has paid tribute to their efforts.
Steph, I know you've been on the fire ground for several days now. What's it like there?
Oh, there certainly is also that community spirit. Only yesterday I was watching as the Shepparton Mayor turned up at the relief centre at Seymour, which is not very far away, probably only about a half an hour's drive from here. And he had got his community together to bring together foodstuffs and critical supplies for people at the relief centre who potentially have lost everything. He said, you know, our community in Shepparton has lost everything in the past during bushfires and natural disasters, and it's our turn to give it back. So there is really that sense of togetherness at the same time as a sense of real despair and worry about exactly what people will find when they finally return and are allowed to return to their homes, because bearing in mind there are still very dangerous conditions in a lot of parts of the state. Now, we did also hear earlier on from one of the people who lives just a couple of kilometres down the road from here, Warwick O'Donnell. Now, he actually had to drive through a wall of flame to get to safety because he was in his shed when this fire front just rapidly engulfed the trees outside his place on Thursday afternoon. And this is what he had to say about his really harrowing ordeal.
It just turned into like a cocoon. It was just, yeah, orange, yellow, red, and blinding, completely blinding. Couldn't see a thing. I was almost about to pull over because I didn't want to drive into someone else. I didn't know what was going to be in front of me. And luckily it just started to clear. And yeah, it just started to clear.
What was going on?
I realised that I'd sort of half outrun the fire, and I just kept going, and yeah.
So that's Warwick O'Donnell, a very, very lucky man after getting through that fire. Unfortunately, it has destroyed his shed, but his home has been untouched. But, you know, there are around 150 structures, including homes and businesses and livelihoods around the Longwood area. And that's part of at least 300 structures that have been damaged or destroyed across the state. And you can see the black and scorched earth here behind me, which means that it's not just homes, it's also livelihoods, and that critical fodder that is now no longer here because it's been absolutely scorched, with authorities saying the total amount of land burnt is now getting up towards 400,000 hectares.